even get to cross.
What's up, guys? As many of you know, I run a Polarstar MP7. It's in pieces right now, but it's not the jack engine. It's actually a heavily modified fusion engine that Bingo made before the jack was available. As you can see, that doesn't really look anything like a fusion engine, but that's what it was. But the whole reason I have it apart is I'm actually going to be putting a longer barrel in it so I can get a little bit more range out of it. This is a stock barrel right here. Not very big, and if you take a look at it, it's actually much different than a standard AEG barrel the way that it's cut. Like, this is a standard AEG barrel. I'll wait for that to focus. So you can see it's totally different. So I'm going to be modifying this so I can use it in my MP7. The reason it's so different is that the buckings are different. This is your standard AEG bucking. Yeah, looks fantastic, right? Modify. This here is the MP7 bucking. There's no lips on it. There's no bucking lips. So it's just flat. Where this has bucking lips. Very weird. So far, the only aftermarket one I've been able to find is a Firefly bucking, but it's like 22 bucks. So I'm gonna stick with the Tokyo Marui one for now. And I'll just show a little process of what I do to modify this guy so it will work in my MP7 the way it should. I haven't really found any videos showing how to modify this stuff, so we'll see how it goes. This is the machine where I set up to cut off the old hop-up window, and then I use the same wheel to cut the groove around the outside for the hop-up bucking. And that's what it looks like after I had finished doing all of that stuff on that one machine. Then I set up my mill and cut the hop-up window, and then this is the finished product of what it's like. Alright guys, so I got my hop-up built all together around my new barrel. Got it all reassembled. Looking good, right? Then I have my next problem. This front assembly here, this front assembly has to slide over the barrel and then lock into place, holding in your FCU and your battery that's inside there, right inside here. All right, so this one's already been modded, but there you go, right? My problem is that with the barrel, this is the inside portion, and your flash hider. Your flash hider goes on here, right? The problem is that it don't go through. So what I ended up having to do was bore this out from inside with a drill the same size as this, and then after I bored that out, it don't go through the flash hider either. So I had to bore that out as well. Now the only problem when you do that is when you bore this out, if you look, you can see there's this rubber O-ring right here where my thumbnail is. When you bore that out, you actually lose all these threads here. So this whole end falls off. So you're only holding on by 2 threads. So what I did was I reassembled the whole thing. I put Loctite on there, and I screwed this puppy on there, so it ain't coming off. So that's how I fixed that, and got to this point. The next problem I had was, if anybody's ever had these silencers, they know they tend to kind of like hang down, you know, from the weight on the end of the gun. They're not actually super straight. So in my case, when I put it on, it was actually hanging down so much that you can see that white part right here, that it was actually, the BBs were actually hitting this and exploding. So I had to I had to come up with some spacers here, one on each end, that fit over the barrel perfectly, so so I wouldn't have have that problem. Let's assemble this real quick. There we go. Here comes the dog. What are you doing, dummy? So here we go. Got her together. And voila. Got a, I don't know if you can really see it, it's kind of hard, but it's the barrel's back in there a little bit. But anyways, so it's all done together. Now you're probably wondering, you know, what this achieved. This thing shoots ridiculously far, and my pressure is like super low. Now I'll show a little chrono and the pressure that I'm running this at. Keep in mind this is a stock bucking, obviously the modified fusion engine. It's got a 407 millimeter 602 barrel in it, ZCI. And I'll do a little bit of a shooting thing here so you can see what my FPS is and what pressure I'm running at, what PSI. So you can see I'm running an SLP rig, nothing super fancy, but this is what my pressure set at, 40 PSI. Now I'm going to be shooting 0.28 gram BBs at 40 PSI in my MP7. My chrono is set to read 0.28. I don't have anything loaded in there now. Let's just give you an idea of what it sounds like. That concludes pretty much all of the upgrades that I'm going to be doing to my MP7. There's not really much I can do. Now with a longer barrel, I can definitely use it outdoors if I want to. It's definitely shooting laser beams from what my testing outside did. I do some video, but it's raining out and it's not that great, so I wanted to get this up anyways. But this is what it looks like completed. Super swag. Super swag. so I'll be bringing that to BBG probably pretty soon and giving it its first test run after all the upgrades and stuff.